Someone disrespects you today. Maybe they insult you in front of others. Maybe they spread a lie about you. Maybe they simply ignore everything you have built. And every instinct you have screams at you. React, defend yourself, make them understand. But here is what no one tells you. The moment you react, you have already lost. The moment you start explaining yourself to someone who was never going to believe you anyway, you hand them exactly the power they were looking for. The Stoics figured this out over 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They were not passive men. They ruled empires, survived slavery, and faced death. And they all arrived at the same conclusion. Your reaction is your vulnerability. Your silence is your power. Today, I am giving you the 7 Stoic rules that will teach you to never react and never explain. These are not just ideas. These are disciplines that will completely change how you move through the world. Stay with me. First, rule: never fight on someone else's battlefield. When someone provokes you, what are they actually doing? They are inviting you onto a battlefield they have chosen, at a time they have chosen, using weapons they have sharpened. And most people accept that invitation without even realizing it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." But before anything can become your way, you must first ask yourself, is this even my fight? Or am I stepping into someone else's trap? Think about what actually happens when you react to a provocation. You are now playing a game someone else designed, with rules someone else invented, for an audience someone else chose. You are not fighting on your terms anymore. You are fighting on theirs. Epictetus understood this deeply. He was a slave, physically powerless, but mentally untouchable. Because he refused to let anyone choose his battlefield, he said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." The provocation is the invitation. Your opinion of it determines whether you accept or decline. When someone insults you in public, their battlefield is your ego. They are betting that you care more about appearing right than actually being at peace. The Stoic move is to decline the invitation entirely. Not with a clever comeback, not with a passive-aggressive remark, just a quiet withdrawal back to your own ground. Your ground is your values, your work, your character. That is a battlefield no one else can reach. Practical application. The next time someone draws you into an argument, pause and ask yourself one question. Whose battlefield am I standing on right now? If the answer is not yours, walk off it. Second, rule: your reaction is information. Give nothing away. Here is something most people never consider. Every time you react emotionally, you are giving the other person a map of exactly where you are vulnerable. You snap at a certain kind of criticism, and they know that criticism lands. You rush to explain yourself when accused of something, and they know your confidence is conditional. You go silent and cold when ignored, and they know attention is your weakness. Your reactions are data, and in the wrong hands, that data is a weapon. Seneca wrote, "It is not that I am brave, it is that I know what is worth fearing." The Stoics trained themselves to control what information they leaked through their emotional responses. Marcus Aurelius described this as the inner citadel. He wrote, "The mind free from passions is a fortress. A fortress does not announce its weak points. A fortress does not open its gates just because someone knocks loudly. The most composed people are not emotionless. They simply decide what they reveal. They can feel anger without showing anger. They can feel hurt without showing hurt. This is not suppression. This is sovereignty. Practical application. For the next 7 days, whenever you feel a strong emotional reaction rising, let it happen fully on the inside. But before you respond externally, ask yourself, what does this reaction reveal about me? And do I want to give that away right now? Third rule, master the gap between stimulus and response. Between what happens to you and what you do about it, there is a gap. Most people live as if that gap does not exist. Something happens and they react instantly, automatically, like a reflex. The Stoics spent their lives training that gap to be wider. Epictetus called it the space between impression and assent. First receive the impression, then examine it, then decide whether to act on it. Not receive, then react. Receive, examine, respond. Viktor Frankl said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose." So how do you widen that gap? 3 Stoic techniques. First, morning preparation. Before entering the world, mentally rehearse difficult people and situations. Second, delay. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Third, objective description. Describe what happened in plain facts. He raised his voice. She ignored my work. They excluded me. Facts, calm emotion. Practical application. The next time you are provoked, take one slow breath. Describe what happened in one sentence. Then decide if a response is even necessary. Fourth rule, silence is not weakness. It is your strongest move. We have been taught to fear silence. Silence means you have no answer. Silence means you agree. Silence means you are weak. The Stoics knew the opposite. Silence is one of the most sophisticated responses available to a human being. The most powerful people are rarely the loudest. They watch everything. They speak only when they choose to. And because of that, every word carries weight. When someone provokes you, remember this. They need your reaction. Your reaction proves they reached you. When you do not react, you take that power away completely. Your peace becomes your power. Your silence becomes your shield. Practical application. The next time someone provokes you publicly, say nothing. Hold their gaze for a moment. Then calmly continue what you were doing. Fifth rule, never explain yourself to people who have already decided. This rule will save you the most energy in life. There are 2 kinds of people who want an explanation from you. The first genuinely wants to understand you. They are open, fair, and willing to listen. With these people, explanation builds trust. The second has already decided who you are. They want your explanation only to attack it, to find holes in it, to justify what they already believe. Explaining yourself to them is exhausting and pointless. Seneca wrote, "A man who knows his own value does not need the testimony of others." When you rush to explain yourself, you communicate doubt, and people sense that. Practical application. Before you explain yourself, ask, is this person open to understanding me, or have they already decided? If they have already decided, close your mouth. Let your actions speak. Sixth rule, respond with excellence, not with words. The most powerful response is not a comeback. It is excellence. When someone doubts you, do not argue, Outwork them in silence. Let what you build do the talking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That is confidence at the highest level. Not announcing who you are, simply continuing to be it. Every hour spent defending yourself is an hour stolen from building something meaningful. Practical application. Write down the one thing you are building right now. Your work, your health, your character, your relationships. Every time you feel the urge to react, redirect that energy into that one thing. Seventh rule. Make your peace non-negotiable. The first 6 rules are techniques. This final rule is deeper. It is a decision. A decision that your inner peace is not for sale, not up for negotiation, not something anyone else gets to disturb without your permission. Marcus Aurelius called this the inner citadel, a fortress inside yourself that no external force can breach unless you open the gates. People will test you, life will challenge you, but your peace cannot be conquered if you decide it cannot be. Most people treat peace as something fragile. The Stoics treated it as a foundation. Not, "I will be at peace when life settles down," but "I am at peace," and that does not depend on the world. Practical application. Write this somewhere you will see it every day. My peace is non-negotiable. I do not react by default. I do not explain to those who have already decided. I protect my inner world the same way I protect everything I love. Closing. 7 rules, 2,000 years old, more relevant today than ever. Never fight on someone else's battlefield. Give nothing away. Master the gap. Use silence. Never explain to closed minds. Respond with excellence. Make your peace non-negotiable. These are not rules for becoming cold. They are rules for becoming unshakable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Never react, never explain. Go build your fortress." If this changed something in you today, you know what to do. And I will see you in the next one. This channel exists for the person who is serious about their mind. If that is you, subscribe and let us keep building together.